Really hard to get this color though. There you go.
Yeah. They wanna know who it is that bring that flame now. Entertainment at its best in your same town.
And welcome to another Planes, Trains, and Automobiles segment on our YouTube channel. I want to thank everybody for stopping through. I get my hands on an electric motorcycle for the first time, and LiveWire One is where it is. Stay tuned for this in-depth review on everything that I like about this machine and why I think it's great for the future on two wheels. But before we get started, I want everyone who is watching this video and has not subscribed yet, go ahead and click that subscribe button down there. We do thank you as our channel is continuously growing. We do have a plethora of things down below, from discounts on clothing, health products, and all, and even our daily vlog material that we use. So give a check out down in the link in the description below.
What makes the difference? The composition, no my position, no competition, no tuition, of no existence of me and all my missions and all.
All right, welcome to the all-new LiveWire e-motorcycle. What more can I say about this bike than it's excellent? I have not really got into anything electric when it comes to two wheels in general, bicycles, motorcycles, scooters, whatever. I've always only been on a motorcycle, and I am here to say that for an MSRP of $22,000, you can't go wrong with this. Now, I am definitely an old school biker, and I've been riding bikes for several years, 12, 15 so years now. And one thing that I can honestly say that will change your perspective is this clutch. But before I get into that, let me dive into a little bit about LiveWire before we start talking about this beautiful bike here. First off, number one, let's talk charge. Because when you think of EVs, you think of how far can I go? You know, what is my range? All these different things like that. One charge on this LiveWire, if driven in eco mode, let me just say that first, can get you up to 150 miles. Get you up to 150 miles. Now, if you're just stopping and going and flooring it and changing modes and all these different things like that, you know, you're gonna get a lesser range in that. You can get about 80, 90 or so. One of the things that I really dynamically like about this bike is that it is all futuristic. It's not just the electronic portion of it. It's Bluetooth, so it pairs with the app on your phone. You have your sound and your map, and all those things can be displayed through the heads-up display that is on this bike. So it really takes your element of just that free riding of the two-wheel motorcycle experience and up in the game. Just imagine if you took all the doors and windows and topped off of a Tesla and you were just cruising. You don't have the noise of the engine, you don't have the muffler, which again, we all like. That's why we buy motorcycles. That's why we buy muscle cars. We buy those things like that because that is exactly what we want to hear. But the experience is not lessened because you don't have that noise. If anything, I think it's heightened because it's able to give you so many different features within this motorcycle that you just don't have in your main models, I should say. So we'll talk about modes. There's a road mode, there's a rain mode, there is a eco mode, there are custom modes, there is a sports mode. And I've tried all of them out. Let's just say I've tried them out. And your best bet for me as a daily rider who rides a ZX6R, which by the way, at the end of this, I will stick that video up in the corner up here for you guys to check out. But I prefer road mode out of all of them. And first and foremost, road mode will give you the power that you're used to on your normal bike. And it's still is somewhat of an energy consumption. It's not your eco mode, but your eco mode, if I had to compare it, would be like on a 250cc that Kawasaki or Honda or any other company put out. You're on it, you enjoy it, but you're gonna want more. So back to it. Yes, the modes are the most important thing that I like about this bike. The next stuff about this bike we're going to talk about its styling. Its styling of the bike is amazing. I really think it has a bare bones minimum look. It kind of reminds me of a Street Fighter. And for all those out there, I have never ridden a Street Fighter. It was something about, and I know this is gonna sound weird, about being on a naked bike on the street, because at the end of the day, it's not much covering you on any bike that you're on. So to call it a naked bike and it just be kind of like bones bare, that's what this is feeling like. The gas tank is removed and you have all your electronic compartments in there. There's no transmission, so it's always on a roll mode. I had to get my composure when I was on a hill at one time. I had it on with the kickstand down and I was still rolling. And I forgot, wait, I can't drop this thing in here. And then all of a sudden, it's going to stop for me. So think of all the benefits of the bike that you ride now, but souping it up. It's like having a video game on two wheels, to me. There's so many electronic components on this bike that I love, so many things that I enjoy. And I want to thank Harley Davidson of Onion Creek. They are where these LiveWires are here in Austin. This is kind of the closest dealership in the Austin area. And Harley Davidson down at Onion Creek sponsors these LiveWires right in there. They have a whole bunch of other vehicles out there, and I want to shout out to Ashton for just giving me the time out with this vehicle over the weekend, and it has been a pleasure and a joy. One thing I can say about the riding experience, the suspension itself, it's not lacking. Depending on the mode that you put it in, that depends on how stiff it's going to be, how damp it's going to be, or how loose it's going to be. But I will tell you, no matter what mode you have it in, it feels comfortable. It feels rideable. I take bumps on this thing like I don't on my Kawasaki. And my Kawasaki is more of a sports bike, so it has that stiffened suspension. But depending on what you're feeling, how you're feeling that day, what the weather is like, you know, you pretty much can change all of your modes. Next thing I really like about this bike is the front. I wasn't too thrilled at first with the front of this bike, but I've grown to love it. I like the lights on it. I like the way it sits. It just has a good stance. The only thing that I'm not used to is not having a shield. Now on a sports bike, you don't have that much of a shield as well, but I felt all the wind on the ride home, and it took me, I don't know, I want to say a good 20 minutes before I got comfortable on the bike and was feeling like it was mine, feeling like I had control of it and I could do what I wanted to do. And that's because it came with so many different things. It's a brand new vehicle, no windshield. There's a whole bunch of things going on right there. But thankfully, I had my man, Sam Rio, come through and help out with the filming of this, and we got some good ride footage, and I'll kind of explain a little bit about that as the ride goes on, just to kind of give you guys my insight and thoughts of the specs of the bike on that end. So as you can see, it's super quiet besides this winding noise. Tell you, boy, the hardest part for me is just realizing that there's no clutch. I do it every time I want to slow down. I haven't done it so much speeding up now as I take off, but slowing down, I always want to just upshift all the time. The bike has a good stiffness to it. Like, some bikes can be too stiff. I've been on some that have been too loose on the suspension. This is like perfect. You could find yourself riding this for a while. I think if you tweaked it to your liking, speed wise, mileage wise, you'd be good. Could I use this as a daily rider? Yes. My Ninja, I always feel like I gotta get it, just because of the sports bike look. Now, not to be fooled, because this bike makes you feel like you gotta get it. Forget the way it looks. My wife said it was kind of light. When she saw it, she was like, oh, it looks light, and I'm like, it is. Light in the sense that we'll talk about it soon. All right, some standout specs and things about this bike real quickly. There's power, there's agility. You get about 105 horsepower with this vehicle, 84 pounds of torque, which this thing can move. I'm gonna tell you again, when you put it in sports mode, it feels like you are holding on for dear life when you take off. It's definitely a different experience, and I would never tell anybody to buy this bike and just start with that mode. Work your way up, eco mode, rain, you know, road, and then sport. And then also you save on your mileage. You know, that's the biggest thing, is your range. And if you're out here, you know, you're on a track, or you're with your buddies, that's a good thing. But at the end of the day, this thing really is good on charge. It uses a regular level 1 charging, so you can plug this thing up right next to your microwave, your dishwasher, whatever you have that is a regular normal outlet. It plugs right up from there. It takes about 11 hours, and it will be fully charged. If you do it at that, there is DC fast charging, which can get you actually fully charged within an hour. But other than that, I mean, I think it works. You get about 95 miles of city and freeway riding if you're just riding normally. You know, there's no escaping that. You're gonna get a good amount to get to work, to get home, do some extra things, and bring it back. If you're going out for a day, that's a good enough amount of time to ride and bring this back. One thing I do like about it is it has enhanced anti-locking braking system in your corner. The regen braking in this thing is really amazing, and it changes based on your mode. Like road mode, it's gonna slow down gradually. Eco mode, you'll feel it enhance its power as it's starting to brake, depending on how fast you're going. But in sports mode, it already knows you're like top lining it. And that's the good and beauty part about it, is that the regen braking is going to save you on these nice, beautiful Brembo brakes that they have. You don't have to use them as hard or as often, because it helps with it. It's everything about it is electric. And I think that is one of the good parts about this here. All right, so that is the LiveWire. Harley Davidson, LiveWire. Y'all did y'all thing on this one. I love it. I'm a fan of the Tesla now after having one. It takes for you to ride one to really be like, nah, I'm not gonna put my bike down. No, you may not want to put your bike down, but this is definitely worth picking up. Your key, last thing. As long as the key is on you, your bike will start. If the key is not on you, you can set a pin for it as long as you have the app on your phone, and the bike will still start. It's kind of similar to the Tesla. You can start it with the app on your phone. So same thing here, key just needs to be on you. You get on, wait for it to start, give you the little signal, and it's ready to go. I'll see y'all on the next one.